Hi, I'm Lucie Lovell and I've been working for WaterAid for 14 years, so a really long time. But yeah, we're an international development charity and we deliver WASH to those who need it in the world, which stands for water, sanitation and hygiene, hygiene education. We work in many countries across the world delivering WASH to the poorest people in the world, but we also advocate and influence governments and other actors who can make change around WASH issues. I guess a fun fact about me is that my entire family are all actors. So I was the first one to rebel and get an office job. So there you go. It's a fun fact. Well, when I returned from maternity leave in 2014, I'd spent a number of years being an operations manager at WaterAid, but I wanted to come back part-time, and my manager at the time had noticed that I was really keen on, being an operations manager. I was very focused on improvement, efficiency, ensuring that we're doing things in the best way possible, and he created this role focused on process improvement, but I wasn't aware that that was something that people did as a focus on its own, and I very quickly realised that just me doing it 3 days a week was only having so much of an impact, and I started to search for ways of doing it that could multiply that impact, and that's how I came across Lean and Kaizen in particular, and also PMI. And yes, it just gave me a methodology to use with other people so that I could collaborate with others to do much bigger projects, make much more change, and also to get that buy-in. So rather than me making recommendations to people, we're able to create new processes together, really understand the issues and create processes that people were bought into and were able to implement successfully. Well, it's so important for us because we're thinking all the time about how we can get, most of the money that we raise through our supporters and our partners. We want to make sure that that is going to the work. So as little as much is spent as possible is spent on governance and administration. We want it to be out there delivering the work. So it's just process improvement is so key for us. We just want to, but it's not just about the processes, it's about the culture and about having continuous improvement in our thinking as we work. So that's what it means for us, is ensuring that we're finding the most efficient ways to work and not just being happy with the status quo, not being happy with processes that aren't working for us or are causing us to use extra time on them, but we're constantly challenging our ways of working and asking those questions and making changes here and there to keep improving. Well, similarly for me personally, not only do I get to wake up in the morning and feel good about myself for working for a charity, but also I feel like I'm making a real difference in the organisation. And when people ask me what my job is, I tend to say much less about the details of process improvement or Kaizen events and much more about making sure our funds go to the right place, basically. And so for me, it just means that, I can make a real difference to that part of our mission. And as I said, it's on the minds of everyone in the organisation. So it gives me as well a huge breadth of people to work with across the organisation. As soon as anyone hears that I can potentially help them with one of their processes, they want to talk to me and get involved, which is a really great place to be. Well, I think that's going back to the culture again. So I think probably more than looking for specific improvement projects that are happening, I'd just be wanting to see it in their everyday vocabulary. I'd want to be hearing them talking about improvement and or even just talking about dissatisfaction they have in a process or a system that's not working so well, and I would just want to see it in kind of how they talk about the organisation and how they interact between teams, and I particularly like to see it in there as part of their objectives. That's the kind of thing I would like to see, is that it's actually embedded in the culture rather than something they want to tick off every year, a project that they want to complete. I would just advise them to get on with it and find out about it. And even just a little bit of training, I think I did the equivalent of what is now your yellow belt. That was enough to give me the tools to just start running Kaizen events with teams. I think I think I already mentioned it's a skill that everybody wants to use in the organisation. So you're going to make a lot of friends if you know how to improve a process in a non-painful way, and that's always been my experience of using the Lean Six Sigma approach, is that it's a really objective way of doing things. It kind of removes some of that political stuff that can happen around processes and enables people to move through a process together or a methodology together and create something new that works together. So that's what I would say, is that it can only be a positive thing if you're going to invest time in learning about it and applying it. But I think when it comes to actually applying it in your organisation as well, just go for it and try it, because it's the kind of thing where you only really get to learn how to do it really well by practicing and trying things out. And because we're always continuously improving, if something doesn't work, you can go back and look at it again and improve it again. So yeah, I would say go for it.